The trophy is already in the air. Martin Odegaard is lifting it above his head at Selhurst Park. The Arsenal players are celebrating around him. The Premier League title is confirmed. It is done. And in that exact moment, 22 years of pain, 22 years of near misses, 22 years of watching other teams lift that trophy, all of it collapsed into a single afternoon in South London. But here is what I need you to understand before we go any further. This was not comfortable. This was not clean. Ian Wright himself, one of the most passionate Arsenal supporters on this planet, described this season with one specific word: ropey. His word, not mine. There were stages of this season where the question being asked, even by people inside the Arsenal family, was, are they actually going to do it this time? Because they had been here before, 3 times before. Second place, second place, second place, and yet here we are, Premier League champions. Records broken that have never been broken in 34 years of Premier League football. A 16-year-old making history, a manager in tears, a captain who cannot find words to describe it, and 2 legends of this club, Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira, watching from the outside, finally exhaling after 22 years of waiting. This is the full breakdown. Stay with me. Thierry Henry believes Arsenal are ready for the Champions League final. The first thing I want to bring to your attention is what Thierry Henry said ahead of the Champions League final against Paris Saint-Germain. This came through a post shared by Arsenal News Hub, and I want to read it to you exactly as it was stated. Henry said, and I quote, "I spoke to the team before the Burnley game. He revealed that he immediately sensed a different level of focus and determination within Mikel Arteta's squad before Arsenal moved another step closer to glory." He then went further, stating, "I saw how determined they were and realised they were so ready for this." And then, most powerfully of all, he added, "Guess what? They are ready for the Champions League too. Based on what I saw, they are winning it." Now, let me give you my analysis of that statement. Thierry Henry is not a man who speaks carelessly. He is a legend of this club. He wore the red and white. He understands what it takes to win at the highest level. When a man of his calibre visits the training ground ahead of a major match and comes away saying those specific words, that is significant. He did not say he hoped they would win. He did not say they had a chance. He said, based on what he personally witnessed, they are winning the Champions League. That is a bold, confident and deliberate statement. And it tells you something about the mentality that Arteta has built inside that dressing room. Henry felt it. He walked away convinced that is not a small thing. That is the testimony of someone who knows what winning looks like from the inside. Ian Wright speaks, and he calls it a relief. Now let us move to Ian Wright. There are a few people on this planet who love Arsenal as deeply and as publicly as Ian Wright. He has been through every low moment with this fan base. He has felt every near miss. And on this day, speaking to Sky Sports at Selhurst Park, he said this: "It is relief. The whole fan base, the global fan base, has been through. They have been dragged left, right and centre, this Arsenal fan base. And to finally do it in a season where it looked a little bit ropey again, where it was getting into a stage of the season of, are they going to do it? Are not they going to do it? In the end, when they have done it, it is a relief. I am so happy for everybody involved in the club." That is what Ian Wright said. And I want you to hear that word, relief, not just joy, not just celebration, relief. My analysis of that is this. When one of the most passionate and emotionally invested Arsenal supporters in the world describes a title win as relief before anything else, it tells you everything about the weight that this fan base has been carrying. 4 consecutive seasons of near misses, 4 seasons of belief, of hope, of watching it slip away. And then this season, by Wright's own words, even this season had moments where it felt uncertain, where the question was still being asked, are they going to do it? And yet they did. And the immediate emotional response from someone like Ian Wright is relief. That is raw, that is honest, and that is a reflection of the journey this club and its supporters have been on. Before I go any further, if you are watching this channel for the first time and you want this level of detailed, fact-based, independent analysis every single time Arsenal make the news, then please hit that subscribe button right now. This channel exists to give Arsenal supporters the full picture, broken down clearly with no noise and no agenda. Subscribe and you will never miss an episode. Now let us continue. Mikel Arteta speaks, and his words are important. Now I want to bring you Mikel Arteta's reaction because what he said reveals a great deal about his philosophy as a manager. Speaking on Sky Sports, Arteta said this: "Honestly, I think all that noise and all those expectations has led us to the road to today become champions. I think without that, you do not step up, you do not become better. You need that challenge, you need that pressure at times, and you need to learn from certain mistakes, and that is part of it. And in a separate moment, also captured on this same day, Arteta added, "We showed an incredible connection, an incredible commitment, and incredible courage this season. Everything that was around us has fueled the desire to go and do it." My analysis of Arteta's words is this. There is a very important idea buried inside what he is saying. Most managers, when they finally win something, talk about how they blocked out the noise. Arteta is saying the opposite. He is saying the noise was the fuel, the expectations, the criticism, the pressure, the near misses, all of it was converted into energy. He used it. He turned external pressure into internal motivation, and the result is a Premier League title. Now, when a manager says that and then delivers the title after 3 second-place finishes, it is not a cliche. It is a method. It is a philosophy that worked. The courage he describes is not just physical, it is psychological. This team had to live with the weight of expectation for 4 years and still show up every single week. That requires mental strength. And Arteta built that with Thierry Henry. The wait is finally over. Now, also on this day, Thierry Henry released a personal statement. And I want to read it to you in full because every word carries meaning. I mean, he said, "My singular priority was for Mikel Arteta to deliver the league, and he did. We are all super excited about it. People did not believe it would happen. Some were going to stadium with bottles just to troll Arsenal. But look at where we are today. Big congratulations to Mikel and the boys. I am super full with excitement, and honestly, I am confident the boys would add the Champions League to it. The wait is finally over." That statement from Henry is extraordinary on multiple levels. Let me break it down for you. He said his singular priority was for Arteta to deliver the league. That tells you something about how Henry viewed Arteta's project. He believed in Arteta specifically. He wanted this for this manager. He also acknowledges the disbelief that surrounded Arsenal, the mockery, the trolling, even people physically going to stadiums to disrespect the club. And he uses that as a contrast. Look at where we are today. It is a powerful and very deliberate message. And then he finishes with what is arguably the most emotionally loaded sentence of the entire day. The wait is finally over, 22 years, and Thierry Henry, the man who gave so much of himself to this club, gets to say those words. That is a moment that belongs in Arsenal history. Trust the process. Skorka tells the story in 4 lines. Skorka posted something that stopped me in my tracks, and I think it is one of the most powerful visual summaries of this entire era. They simply listed Arsenal's last 4 seasons, 2022 to 23, second place, 2023 to 24, second place, 2024 to 25, second place, 2025 to 26, Premier League champions, and they captioned it with 3 words, trust, the process. My analysis of that is simple. That 4-line summary tells the story of 4 years of building, 4 years of believing, and 4 years of not quitting. 3 times they came close. 3 times it was not enough. And then the 4th time, they did not just win. As we will see shortly, they won it in record-breaking fashion. Squawker Post does not need long commentary. The numbers speak. But what they represent is a mentality and a structure and a management philosophy that refused to reset after setbacks. Instead, it built higher. Every second-place finish added another layer of understanding, another layer of resilience, and then the 4th year, all of that came together. Mikel Arteta lifts the trophy. And Fabrizio Romano captures the moment. Transfer journalist Fabrizio Romano was at Selhurst Park, and he posted a simple and powerful moment, a photograph of Mikel Arteta holding the Premier League trophy with a single quote. Arteta said, "It is one of the best feelings of my life." 6 words. But let me give you the context that makes those 6 words land so heavily. This is a man who arrived at Arsenal as a first-time manager in December 2019. He had no managerial experience at senior level. He took over a club that was drifting. He rebuilt it from the inside. He installed a culture, a belief, a system. He came close 3 times and did not win. And then on the final day of the 2025 to 26 Premier League season, he stood at Selhurst Park in an Arsenal kit, holding the Premier League trophy, and said, "It is one of the best feelings of my life." The journey behind those 6 words is everything. Martin Odegaard, the captain, speaks. Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard was also asked for his reaction, and what he said tells you about the character of this group. He said, "Honestly, I cannot describe it. It was so special. A lot of emotions and a lot of hard work behind it. So emotional, but A beautiful day and an amazing achievement. You always have the doubt and the fear that you are not going to make it, but we had that belief in ourselves, and even in the toughest moments this season, we really stuck together. We had that belief, we just kept on fighting and we got there in the end, so even better like that. Odegaard's words are significant because he is the captain. He lives inside the dressing room, and what he is telling you is that even from inside, there were doubts, there were fears, there were tough moments, but the collective belief held. And when a captain tells you that, you understand that what Arteta has built is not just a tactical structure, it is a community, a group of players who stuck together when it was difficult. That is what wins titles. Noni Madueke, the boldest quote of the day. Now, this one I want to make sure you hear clearly because it is genuinely bold. Before the Champions League final against Paris Saint-Germain, a journalist asked Noni Madueke about facing one of the best attacking teams in Europe. The journalist said, "Your team is one of the best defensive teams this season, coming up against one of the best attacking teams in PSG." And Madueke responded by saying, "We are also one of the best attacking teams in the Champions League, are not we? Have not we scored the most goals? So we are the best attacking team and the best defensive team." Now that is a statement. My analysis of it is this. Madueke is not being arrogant for the sake of it. He is pointing to facts. If Arsenal have indeed scored the most goals in the Champions League this season, then his claim is grounded in evidence. He is not making up bravado. He is using data, and the combination of best attack and best defence, if both are true, makes Arsenal objectively the most complete team in the competition. That is not noise, that is analysis. And the fact that a player is thinking and speaking this way tells you the confidence levels inside this squad heading into the biggest game in European club football, Opta, a record that has never been done before. Opta posted something that deserves its own extended analysis. They confirmed that Arsenal have become the first side in Premier League history to neither concede a penalty nor receive a red card in a single campaign, and they captioned it with one word: focus. Let me sit with that for a moment. The Premier League has been running since 1992, 34 seasons. And in all of those seasons, no club has ever gone an entire campaign without conceding a penalty and without receiving a red card. Arsenal in 2025 to 26 are the first. That is not a small statistic. That reflects extraordinary discipline. It reflects a tactical structure that minimises the kind of reckless challenges and defensive errors that lead to penalties. It reflects a mentality in the squad that avoids the emotional decisions that lead to red cards. And it reflects a manager who has clearly drilled into this group a level of composure and control that is unprecedented in Premier League history. One word from Opta, focused, and it is exactly the right word. Max Dowman, the youngest ever in history. Fabrizio Romano shared a set of facts about Arsenal's youngest player, Max Dowman, that are genuinely staggering. This week, Max Dowman became the youngest player ever to win the Premier League, and also the youngest player ever to start a Premier League game at 16 years and 144 days old. My analysis of this is simple. The fact that a 16-year-old, 144 days into his life, is starting Premier League matches and winning titles tells you about the pipeline that Arteta has built at this football club. He has created an environment where young players are trusted, developed and given real opportunity at the highest level. And the fact that Dowman is breaking all-time records at that age suggests that this is not just about giving youngsters a chance. This is about genuinely developing top-level talent. 19 set-piece goals in the 2025 to 26 Premier League season, excluding penalties, set the all-time record for set-piece goals in a single Premier League. And in a remarkable twist, Tottenham Hotspur came second on that list with 18, both records set in the same season. My analysis of Arsenal's set-piece dominance is this. Set pieces are the most coachable aspect of modern football. They are planned, rehearsed and executed with precision. The fact that Arsenal scored 19 times from set situations tells you about the preparation that goes into every match. These are not accidental goals. These are designed goals. And when you combine 19 set-piece goals with overall attacking output and the Champions League assist record we mentioned in the articles, you start to understand why this team is so difficult to stop. They can score from open play, from transitions and from set situations. Every defensive structure has a weakness. Arsenal find all of them. TNT Sports. First title since the Invincibles. Football on TNT Sports marked the moment with a side-by-side comparison. Arsenal's title-winning squad in 25 to 26 and the Invincibles of 2003 to 2004. The caption simply read, Arsenal's first Premier League title since the Invincibles 2003-4, 2025-26, 22 years between those two images. And my analysis is this. The Invincibles set a standard that no Arsenal team has been able to match since. But this current squad has now broken that drought. They have now added their own chapter to the club's history. They will not be remembered as the Invincibles, but they will be remembered as the team that ended the wait. And with the Champions League final still ahead of them, they have the opportunity to write an even more extraordinary chapter. The comparison between the two squads will be made for years, but what matters today is that the current group did what every team since 2004 failed to do. They won the Premier League. Patrick Vieira speaks. The Invincibles captain gives his blessing. Patrick Vieira, who captained the Invincibles in 2003-4, reacted to Arsenal lifting the Premier League trophy. Speaking for Premier League Productions, he said, "It is a big achievement. It is really difficult to win the Premier League, especially when you have these types of teams, City, Liverpool, Chelsea. I think the competition is more difficult because there are more teams capable of winning the Premier League. In the last couple of years, they have built the belief and the confidence, stability in the team, and I believe that they will be the team to beat next year." My analysis of Vieira's words is important for two reasons. First, he is the last Arsenal captain to lift the Premier League trophy. He knows what it costs, and he is explicitly acknowledging that the modern Premier League is harder to win than it was in his era. More competitive, more teams capable of winning, which means, in his view, this Arsenal title is earned against even stiffer competition. And second, he says he believes Arsenal will be the team to beat next year. That is not nostalgia. That is forward-looking analysis from a man who won this league himself. His belief in this current group is a significant endorsement. Bruno Fernandes breaks Thierry Henry's Premier League assist record. Now let me turn to the articles, and I want to give you my full independent analysis of each one. The situation is that Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United has finished the 2025-26 Premier League season with 21 assists, breaking the all-time record for assists in a single Premier League campaign. The previous record was held by Thierry Henry, who managed 20 assists in one of the most celebrated individual seasons in Premier League history. Kevin De Bruyne was also at that number before Fernandes surpassed them both. Fernandes reacted to this achievement after Manchester United's win at Brighton. He said it was not something he dreamed about or thought about until he was close enough to see it. He also paid tribute to his teammate, crediting Johnny Evans for believing in a set piece that he himself was not so confident about. And he acknowledged the wider context, saying that creation has not changed or improved for him, but that his teammates have scored more goals than before, which is why the assists have come. Now, here is my analysis. Fernandes reaching 21 assists is a statistically remarkable achievement, but I want to give you the full picture because context matters. Thierry Henry's 20 assists came in a season where he also scored 24 goals. His contribution to Arsenal in that campaign was both creative and clinical. Fernandes has managed just 8 goals alongside his record-breaking assist total. That does not diminish the assist record, but it does explain why, when you compare the two players as complete footballers in their record-breaking seasons, Henry's season stands as the more complete individual performance. What Fernandes has done is historically significant in one specific category. What Henry did was historically significant across the full range of a forward's responsibilities. The record belongs to Fernandes now, but the legacy belongs to Henry. Patrick Vieira reacts as Arsenal lift the Premier League trophy. The reality for Arsenal is that winning this title carries a specific emotional and historical weight because of who won it last. The Invincibles, the unbeaten team. And Patrick Vieira, their captain, has now watched a new generation lift the same trophy for the first time since his own team did it 22 years ago. Vieira's words, which I already read in the screenshot segment, carry additional meaning in the context of this article. He speaks about the competition now being harder, more teams capable of winning, and yet Arsenal broke through, and his prediction that they will be the team to beat next year is significant because it suggests that this title is not a one-off. It is the beginning of something. Vieira sees stability, belief and confidence in this Arsenal group. And when the man who last lifted this trophy tells you a team has those qualities, that is the highest possible endorsement from the most qualified person available. The article also notes that with the Champions League final still ahead, Arsenal have the opportunity to add another layer of legacy to what they have already achieved this season. Winning the Premier League and the Champions League in the same campaign would place this Arsenal squad in a very different conversation altogether. Vieira believes they can do it. Henry believes they can do it. Odegaard believes they can do it. Madueke believes they can do it. Arteta believes they can do it. The question now is whether they will go and prove it. IAN Wright praises Noni Madueke as Arsenal lift the Premier League trophy. Now, the third article, and this one focuses on something very specific that Ian Wright said after the trophy lift. The evidence suggests that Noni Madueke's arrival at Arsenal played a critical role in this title-winning season. And Ian Wright, speaking on Sky Sports as the celebrations were happening, was asked about the squad and singled out Madueke for specific praise. He said, whatever people say about Noni Madueke, we needed him to come in and give Bukayo Saka the kind of rest that he needed. He has given us the capability of resting Saka, the players who have come in and have done well, and that is what we needed. My analysis of this is straightforward and important. Bukayo Saka is Arsenal's most important attacking player. He is the man they cannot afford to lose in a title race. And across previous seasons, one of the concerns about Arsenal's squad depth was the over-reliance on Saka. If he was unavailable or fatigued, the attacking threat dropped significantly. The arrival of Madueke solved that specific problem. He gave Arteta a reliable, high-quality alternative on that right side. He gave Saka the ability to rest without Arsenal losing momentum. And the title is, in part, a reflection of that squad depth being available when it was needed. Wright's point is not just praise for Madueke. It is an analysis of how squad construction contributed to a championship. And Wright is absolutely right. You cannot win a Premier League title with 11 players. You win it with depth. You win it with players like Madueke who come in and perform when called upon. And this season, that depth made the difference. Let me bring all of this together for you now, because taken as a whole, today tells a very clear and very powerful story about what Arsenal have built under Mikel Arteta. They are Premier League champions for the first time in 22 years. They have done it after 3 consecutive second-place finishes. They have done it while setting multiple Premier League records that have never been achieved before in the history of the competition. First club in Premier League history to go a full season without conceding a penalty or receiving a red card. Most set-piece goals in a single Premier League season. 120-plus goals across all competitions. A 16-year-old who is now the youngest ever Premier League winner and the youngest ever to start a Premier League game. Every legend connected to this club, from Thierry Henry to Patrick Vieira to Ian Wright, has come out and spoken about this moment with pride, with emotion, and with confidence about what comes next. The manager himself has described it as one of the best feelings of his life. The captain has spoken about collective belief in the toughest moments. The players have spoken with confidence and conviction heading into a Champions League final. And that is where this story has not yet ended. The Champions League final against Paris Saint-Germain is still to come. And based on everything that has been confirmed today, based on what Henry saw at training, based on what Madueke said about being the best attacking and defensive team in the competition, based on what Arteta has built over 4 years of relentless work, Arsenal are heading into that final as a team that believes they can win. The Premier League title is done. The trophy is in their hands. The celebrations are happening right now at Selhurst Park. But this squad is not finished yet, and that is perhaps the most extraordinary thing about today. This team, having just ended a 22-year wait, is already focused on the next trophy, because that is the culture Arteta has built. That is the mentality Odegaard described. Belief, even in the toughest moments, staying together, kept on fighting, got there in the end. I am Melissa. This has been Melissa, Arsenal analyst. If you made it to the end of this video, you are the kind of supporter who wants the full picture, and this channel is built for you. Please subscribe, leave a comment below with your reaction to today, and I will see you in the next episode, hopefully very soon, to break down an Arsenal Champions League final victory.